So in this video, I'm just going to go over ECR and kind of what it is. First things first, ECR stands for Extended Constructed Response. Pretty much, you're going to be expected to write an essay. So when you see one, just a heads up, it's going to be on STAR, technically worth 5 points, but since it's graded by 2 different people, 2 times 5 is 10, so 10 points in total. Those 5 points come from content, such as you have a clear thesis, did you include evidence, and did you explain? Like, did you organize and develop the ideas that you are explaining in your essay? And did it answer the prompt? 2 of the points will also come from grammar and spelling. So is your essay easy to understand? Are things spelled correctly? Punctuation in the correct place? Things like that, So there's where all your points roughly come from. So when you are completing an ECR on STAR, things in mind that you have to keep in mind is first is reading the prompt. Reading the prompt, and do you understand what it is asking of you? Do you understand what is expected of you? And once you've done that, you're going to want to create your thesis statement and add in words from the prompt. In doing so, it will, one, help you kind of have a better understanding of what you're always trying to come back to with your evidence, what you're always trying to explain and, again, connect to. But it also makes it clear to the person who's rating you that you know what you are talking about, what you are writing about. You then include text evidence to support your thesis statement and to answer the prompt. And let me make this clear. If it's not doing both of those, then we went wrong somewhere. Because your evidence should be answering the prompt, but also supporting your thesis at the same time. So if it's not doing both, then most likely your thesis needs to get fixed. Number 3 is explain how the evidence supports the thesis. So once you have your thesis, once you have your evidence, you need to explain how your evidence supports that. And as you're doing all of this, you need to be writing in complete sentences, using proper spelling and punctuation. Things that kind of come hand in hand with that is it'd be nice if you also put kind of transitions in between like your evidence and then between your explaining. So being like, my thesis is that, or you wouldn't say my thesis, but you'd be like, the author created the sense of doom through blah, blah, blah. And then you'd be like, for example, in paragraph 2, it states, and then put in your evidence. And then after your evidence, you might be like, this evidence explains, or this evidence suggests, things like that, to kind of have a smooth transition from one part to the next. And then lastly, and this is the step that I'm going to very much emphasize, is once you are done writing, you need to read your ECR and revise it. You need to take time, and I would suggest maybe whisper it under your breath on the day of, because you can't really be talking. And notice if you made any mistakes. Because remember, there will not be any spell check. You yourself need to assess yourself. Like, do I know how to spell this word? This is a hard word. Maybe I need to check it. And, just use a dictionary for that, because you can type into the dictionary, and obviously if the definition doesn't pop up, then maybe it's not the correct spelling. And revise your ECR for, again, spelling, capitalization, punctuation, and just does it flow and does it make sense? And normally we catch a lot of these mistakes if we just read it out loud for a second. So, again, whisper underneath your breath and try it out. The rubric roughly looks like this. Again, development and organization ideas, because that's the kind of one I really want to focus on. Is like, do you have a clear controlling idea, which is your thesis statement? Is it effectively organized? Did you include evidence? Is it clear and effective? And then another part that I want to point out with ECR is oftentimes you may see a prompt with the word develop as seen here, okay? So for instance, this one says, explain how the author develops the idea that writing has improved her life. When you see the word develops, you need to realize it's not just asking you, where is it obvious that writing has improved her life? It kind of more hints at how did the author reveal, or what did they say that reveals that idea? So again, like what I put down here, that doesn't mean where did he show that idea, but instead, how did the author start building to that idea, or how did he show us that? So like if the prompt was about a story and it was asked, how did the author develop the theme or the message of the text? It's not like just the very end where it said like, oh, Now we learned the true meaning of gift giving. No, it would be what built up to that idea, what came before that, what created the idea that this lesson may be the focus of it all. So it might be in the beginning where the girl first doubted her gift, like, oh, well, this hints that the theme is maybe going to be relating to gift giving, and then how some people doubt themselves, and then later on being like, oh, but other people were encouraging her, things like that. But that still builds the how she was kind of doubting herself. But at the end, she realized that no, it's a thought that counts, like kind of building up that journey of us getting to that lesson. So that's just something I want you to keep in mind, that when you see that word develop, it is not just hinting at where is that message or that idea the clearest. It is what are all the little things in that text that built up to that idea. And again, just in case you don't know, when you see ECR on STAR, it will not say that it's an ECR. It will not say extended constructed response. You're just going to see kind of a box like this on your screen. And so when it's asking you to write an essay, when you see these bullet points, that is extended constructed response. And it truly, if you get into your nerves, just read. Just read and see what is the prompt. Take a moment, process. Don't overthink this too much. You can do this. That's all. Thank you. Now I just have to figure out how to stop recording. Oh,